All right, Coach, thanks for joining us today. Week number 5 of the season, game number 4, Coastal Carolina. If you would, talk a little bit about Coastal, and we'll take some questions.
Coastal Carolina brings a big athletic, football team in here, from a playoff conference. A lot of people in this region don't know a bunch about Coastal. I don't think it's just because of the fact that, of where we are in the conference that we play in. But, Coastal's been a pretty good team for a long time. It was a startup program a few years back, and they built it. They've been to the playoffs. They were the first team to beat James Madison after their national championship year. And Coach Bennett's done a good job assembling a good team. They've got off to a slow start this year, just like we have, and I expect their guys to come in this week and play as well as they can play to try to come up and get a win.
Thank you. Questions for Coach?
Where's the injury update on Dante and Trey?
Dante won't play definitely. Trey should play. Trey practiced yesterday, and we expect him to play, but we expect Dante to be out another couple of weeks as he gets himself healthy, but we fully expect to have Trey.
I know you have a next man up mentality, but this obviously is something that every team sometimes has to overcome. How are you dealing with getting buried in your first year as being a head coach like this?
Well, things happen, and we're always optimistic. I mean, the reason we go out and recruit good football players is so that when we're in situations like this, we can bounce back. We've had some young guys step up in games and make some plays, and we'll get the older guys back. I remain positive, and I remain unshaken. Because I feel like our team has a bunch of good football players, and we'll make it through.
Is that the attitude you try to impart to at least your offense as well, because they seem to be missing more than the defense? And how difficult is it to keep them from getting a little discouraged because they know what they're capable of and they're just not able to put all their best feet forward?
It's an attitude that we impart to the whole team, no matter what. We're a tough team, we're a resilient team, and we're not going to let one or two setbacks make the difference in our season. I think our defense knows that if we are limited on offense, they have to step up, and I think our young offensive guys who aren't the seasoned veterans, that are out, they've got to play better. So we've got to make it a total team effort based on what the staff has to do to get the kids ready to play. Based on what the offense has to do and what the defense has to do.
Hey, Coach Scott, there is someplace in between rebuilding and going to take your lumps and inexperienced and a sense of urgency. You got to win now. Is it difficult to maintain the second part of it when you are inexperienced and you are beat up a little bit, and you could take your lumps?
Well, I mean, we come out every week, with the focus on winning football games. I think, you'll see a team this week that lost last week that's expecting to win. I think the best way for us to bounce back from last week's loss was to come out and practice yesterday. The kids came out spirited. They weren't down. And, as far as rebuilding, we'd like to say we reload, because we go out and we recruit talent to try to come out and win football games. So we're not going to write this season off by any stretch, because we lost one conference game or because we've got a few guys hurt. I have total confidence in my team and my staff to put together the best plan, and we'll have an opportunity to win many more games this year.
Speaking of practice, do you go full speed ahead in the rain? Today and tomorrow it's supposed to be kind of wet.
Oh yeah, I mean we have to, because what if the meteorologist is wrong and it rains on Saturday? So as long as there's no lightning and put the guys in danger, we'll go out and practice, and I think it could be something that pays us a dividend down the road if we do have to play a game in the rain.
Hey, Coach Scott, I was wondering if you could talk about Nick Hicks. He seems to have a knack for punting the ball inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Nick's got kind of an unorthodox way of punting, and Nick's done a great job of landing some balls inside the 10-yard line. I think a few of them, our punt team hadn't gone down and actually downed, but Nick's done a great job, and he's a huge asset to us. So when we're trying to flip the field and pin the other team deep in their own territory.
How would you, sort of in a thumbnail sketch of Coastal Carolina, characterize them? I see the quarterback run some. Is there a way to describe them easily for folks who aren't familiar with that program?
Well, I think offensively it's a balanced offense. The quarterback has the ability to run. He has the ability to pass. I think he's broken his own passing record the last 2 games in a row. They've got a nice skill set of receivers on the outside, and their offensive line and their running backs have the ability to run the ball. I think defensively, the strength of their team is probably the back 7. They've got a really fast group of linebackers in secondary. They're a little bit undersized at defensive end, but their tackles are more than capable.
When looking at tape of the team, would you look more at a Towson game, which is a game against a team in your conference, and they go to 5 OTs, and there's probably more tape of them to look at. They put up 45 points, or would you look at their most recent win over Delaware State, where they seem to put more things together?
We've looked at all of them. We've got 4 games. We've got West Virginia. We've got Towson. We've got their last one against Delaware State, and there's some other games on there that we've been able to watch. But we watch their total package, and we try to figure out what they do and what they don't do, and we try to figure out what they're good at, and we try to figure out what we can exploit, both on offense and defense. So, obviously we look at the teams in our conference that we know the talent level, and also obviously West Virginia's got a great talent level. So we watch all those things, but there are things that they did against Delaware State that can help us, and there are things that Delaware State was able to do against them that can help us. So we watch as much video as we possibly can to try to gain any advantage we can.
Hey, if I can ask one more about injuries, I know it's your favorite topic to talk about. No coach likes to use it as a reason for the problems, but if mentally you pictured your top 22, if everybody was physically fit, how many of those top 22 would be unavailable, have been unavailable or are unavailable this week, you think?
We've had some guys in and out, John, so it's tough to say. But obviously, all 3 of our receivers have been in and out of the lineup. We haven't played with our left tackle, our projected left tackle, all season. We missed a running back in practice in the game last week in Garrett. Defense. Yeah, Kerry Wynn has played a half of football all season, so. Whatever that totals up to, our injury report kind of looks like a phone book. But like I said, we don't make it. We don't make an excuse. The guys are trying to get healthy, and their teammates, the younger guys, are doing the things that they can do to try to make sure they make plays.
Have you visited the display at the library about the history of Richmond football?
I haven't been over yet, but I actually met the guy who set it up. The guy's an author, and I actually purchased one of his books on something else, but I haven't had the opportunity to get over there yet.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Up next, a pair of seniors, running back Tyler Kirchoff, safety Max Prokel. We'll take some questions.
Hey, Tyler's a fifth-year guy. Perhaps this is the time for leadership when things haven't gone great and it's early in the season and you got some young guys who haven't played a great deal. I wonder if you could speak to that role.
A lot of the young guys on this team, they walked into a program with a lot of success, and they don't really know what it was like to go through some adversity. We've been through it in the past. We know how to handle it, and we're just trying to set an example for the guys to come in week after week and work hard regardless of what the outcome was the previous week. You can't get too down after a loss. And we're just trying to set that example for the younger guys to have them come out and keep working. Could you elaborate a little on how to handle it? You spoke to the just steady effort, I guess is what you're speaking about. Yeah, I mean that's all that you can do. I mean, you gotta work as hard as you can all the time, and that's about it.
Max, you guys tired? Defense has been on the field quite a bit the last couple of games. I know it's early in the season, but does fatigue come into any part of the equation?
No, I'd say we're not tired. That's why we come up here in the summer. That's why we work so hard during training camp and do all that. We had almost all the guys here this summer working out. We're not tired. We just need to go out. We need to execute better.
For either guy, what would happen if you went up first? I mean, is that a goal, is to get ahead and see what that's like and perhaps ride that a little bit?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Coach has been preaching to us to come out strong right off the bat and fight hard throughout the second and third quarter. And he also talks about finishing, and we need to do a little bit better of a job of starting fast and finishing. And I think we have the capabilities of doing that. It's just a matter of knowing our assignments and executing on all cylinders, and I think we can do it.
Hey guys, this is for either one of you. You guys have had 2 games in the new stadium. How would you compare the atmosphere of the new stadium to the one of the old?
I'd say it's a great atmosphere. I mean, it's a beautiful stadium, and what's really cool about it is we've been practicing on that field for 4 or 5 years now, and to see that stadium really come up and be built around the field that we've been sweating on for 4 years is real great. It really feels like a home field.
Hey Max, who is Coastal Carolina comparable to in the Colonial, if anybody?
I honestly can't answer that question. I can't compare them to anyone. They're a good team. They have a lot of big physical linemen, good receivers, a good quarterback. They're a good team. I can't really compare them to anyone, but they're a good team.
Max, you're probably tired of answering this question, especially for me, but can you talk about your transition from wide receiver to defensive back, the advantages, disadvantages, and also as you see wide receivers going down with injury, is there thought in the back of your mind that, maybe you'll wind up back on that side of the ball again?
No, I mean, there's no thought that I'm not going to play safety. I'm a safety now, and I love it. I'm really grateful for Coach Scott for giving me the opportunity. I'm flattered that he thought I could do it, thought I could play safety. And playing receiver has helped because just reading receivers, knowing their routes, knowing what they do with their eyes and feet and everything, I can pick up on that, I think, a little better than a DB who's never played receiver. So I think I can use it to my advantage.